Texas Governor Greg Abbott issues a proclamation labeling the Muslim Brotherhood and CAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, as foreign terrorist organizations and transnational criminal organizations under state law. So Texas passes this bill, SB 17, which expands what the state can do once a group is designated as a foreign terrorist organization or a transnational criminal organization. And the minute they have that label, you can ban land purchases, you have investigation authority, you have asset scrutiny, not sure what that means, but we'll get to it, civil penalties, again, don't really understand it, expanded surveillance, restrictions on contracts, education, and influence. So before we dive into what this means, you were talking about this with Megyn Kelly almost a decade ago. Guys, can you throw up this clip? This is crazy to me.
I mean, this gentleman here himself has said some very negative things about the entire Muslim community. We can't be promoting fear and hate against an entire religious community. Let's target on actual threats, but let's not divide Americans based on religion, because what makes America so great is freedom of religion. That's what the U.S. Constitution is about.
Go ahead, Carl.
Well, Hassan, forgive me for not taking it too seriously about American security and safety, which is the paramount of Donald Trump's policies here. Your organization, CAIR, was listed as a terrorist organization by the UAE. 7 of your board members can't come into the United States because they have alleged terrorist ties, and you supported Hamas. So let's be very clear here. Donald Trump wants to protect Americans first and scrutinize people who want to join our country, and make sure when they do join our country, they do it on our terms, which is safe for Americans, but we also want to be fair to the people who are already here. So I welcome immigrants, I welcome people from all over the country or all over the world to join us here, but I want to make sure that it's safe for Americans in my country that I fought for.
Go ahead, Hassan.
And that's absolutely false. You know, I'm a civil rights lawyer. I run the largest civil rights organization in the state of Florida. We defend the rights of all people of discrimination, regardless of race or religion or
The UAE has designated CAIR as a terrorist organization.
The UAE did designate CAIR, not CAIR Florida, and we don't go by the UAE. We live in a democratic country. The UAE does not have democratic freedoms or liberties, and the reason they did is because another civil rights organization. Yes, a dictatorship. Are you under UAE laws, or do we believe in American laws? I go by the American system. Only a couple months ago, I met with the president. Our deputy director is a sheriff deputy, and he protects this country day and night. We keep our country safe. We're proud Americans, and we want to keep America a free and just nation for all people, regardless of their race or religion, and we will stand for all victims of discrimination.
Wow, did that age well? And I mean that quite literally, because if I had seen that a decade ago, I would have been thinking like, oh, come on, you're just Islamophobic. So I want to start from the top here, because I don't even think I knew who Hamas was a decade ago. So let's start with, who is CAIR? I want to take it from the very top. Who is this organization? Because they're not labeled a terrorist organization federally in America. And what's the Muslim Brotherhood?
So this thing goes back, like, obviously spent 9 years in and out of Iraq. So like pretty intimately familiar with the mission of the, let's just call it the militant side of Islam. Okay. CAIR, and he parses it out, CAIR Florida, CAIR, the Council for American Islamic Relations. Okay. Their job, and Jillian, you can go back to the beginning of this whole thing. Like, I'm going to just present something as fact. Everywhere that Muslims are in the minority, they scream about minority rights. Everywhere they're in the majority, there are no minority rights. This is a fact in any country.
Yep.
So, you know, when people say, oh, you're Islamophobic or whatever, not afraid of them. I think that there are cultural differences, and Islam as a religion is incompatible with our constitutional values here, as we're seeing in places like Dearborn, Michigan. Just recently, you saw Cam Higbie, no relation to me. He was out in Dearborn, Michigan. He was being pepper sprayed, and he was being detained by police for videotaping things. He was followed by drones.
I'm a journalist. I'm not a protester. This is my badge. Okay. Today on the streets of Dearborn, I was pepper sprayed, maced by protesters because I asked them simply why they were harassing and touching another individual who had stated repeatedly that he was only on their side of the street to talk to them and have a dialogue. My phone was smashed. You can see the broken camera right there. They stole $50 out of my pocket, and they stole my microphone receiver. I went and I told one of your officers, badge number 3668, that this had happened. He told me there was nothing that could be done about it unless I went to the station. I told him, I can't go to the station. I'm working. I'm doing my job. He said, I'm working too. I said, God, your job is to protect me and all of the people that are out here today. Okay, so we said that I could go into the station later. I told him, you're never going to catch the guy if I go into the station later. He's going to leave. He's dressed head to toe in black bloc. I filmed the whole thing, but he had a mask on his face. You'll never, ever get an opportunity to arrest that person ever again if you don't go and get him right now. He said, sir, I can't leave my post. 5 minutes later, I caught him in the parking lot on a personal phone call. Okay, repeatedly today, I watched people that are in this room get attacked by other people that are in this room. I watched your officers not respond to those attacks repeatedly. Then I saw somebody who was in this group, which I'm a journalist. I'm just documenting what's going on, and I'm here to tell you what's going on. I saw somebody in this group get arrested. I asked the officer, habeas corpus, please articulate probable cause for arresting this person. They refused to. I asked name and badge number. They refused to give me their name and badge number as a member of the press with my badge clearly displayed. They would not tell me why they were arresting this person. They just did it. Okay. Yesterday, I was exploring Dearborn. I came here just to document this from Seattle as a journalist. Okay. I was exploring Dearborn. I walked up and down Michigan Avenue. There wasn't very many people out. Then we wanted to hear the call to prayer that we've heard so much about. So we went to a mosque. And at that mosque, I was followed by a drone. If I moved forward, the drone moved forward. If I went backwards, the drone went backwards. I went to a gas station, and that drone waited outside of the gas station, just above the door, for me to leave so it could begin following me again. I was followed by vehicles, and I was followed by individuals on foot. There was a lot of talk in here today about sexism. So I'd like to quote the Prophet Muhammad. Okay? One of my favorite quotes from the Prophet Muhammad. A woman's testimony is worth half that of a man's through the deficiency of her mind. God created two sexes, one superior and one inferior. That's why your women wear hijabs, because they're inferior to men. That's why Muslims are customs. They can't leave their homes without permission of a male guardian. Is my time up?
You have 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Yes, I agree. Go ahead. Yeah, I think I shouldn't feel like a dhimmi in my country. That's what I feel like in Dearborn, Michigan. It doesn't feel like home. I feel like a dhimmi, a second-class citizen, which is what Christians are in the majority of Muslim countries. Dhimmis. Second-class citizens. And the policing in this city, that's exactly what happens. And I know rank-and-file officers in pretty much every city usually want to take care of these problems. You're the one giving the orders, Mr. Mayor. These guys definitely want to do something about them. They're business. Look at them. These guys are all business. Your orders. I'm done.
Every fall, there's that shift in the air, right? Mornings get a little cooler, the light changes, and suddenly you're reaching for layers that make you feel grounded, comfortable, pulled together. And those are just a few of the things that I love about Quince, because their pieces don't scream for attention, but the second you put them on, you feel the difference. They've nailed the sweet spot of luxury quality without the luxury markup. Their $50 Mongolian cashmere sweaters are ridiculously soft, not too heavy, not too thin, not itchy. It is literally the perfect layer that I wear under a coat or on its own. The denim fits like a dream. Clean lines, flattering on everyone. These are the kind of staples that end up on repeat. It's your personal fall uniform without even trying. My favorite piece is the Italian wool coat. Oh my God. The one I have looks and feels designer, but it costs a fraction of the price. The tailoring is beautiful, the weight is perfect, and somehow I manage to look great effortlessly every time I have it on. And what makes Quince different is how they work. So they partner with ethical top-tier factories, the same ones that produce for major designer labels, and they cut out the middlemen. So you're getting exceptional craftsmanship, responsible production, and prices that are about half of what you'd normally pay for pieces of this quality. So it's refined, without being fussy, elevated, but approachable. The kind of wardrobe that makes you feel like you've grown into your style and finally stop compromising between quality and cost. Find all your staples at Quince. Go to quince.com/Jillian for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Jillian to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Jillian.
Anywhere there is a mass grab of the Islamic community, they start to impose Sharia law. There's Sharia courts all over the country right now. They're in Texas. There's 2 Sharia courts in Texas. These are issues that people are unwilling to talk about because it's uncomfortable, because the second they do, someone in the leftist media says, oh, they're Islamophobic.
Yes.
You have to have these discussions.
I gotta admit, I was like, oh God, how do we have this conversation without it being like, see, she's alt-right. Now I get to own Islamophobe. But at the end of the day, I'm like, we have to talk about this stuff because I've seen what's gone on from that video with Megyn Kelly to where we are now. And I have friends in the UK that are telling me what has gone on there, which again, I want to discuss. Let's back up for a second. For anybody who isn't overwhelmingly familiar, and Carl, what I think happens is we have like a top line understanding of things. Sharia law, bad. Women have to wear a hijab and they don't really get equal rights. But that's kind of all you know about it. And then, oh no, the Muslim religion is insanely peaceful and I've read the Quran and this is radical Islam. None of us, the average person, does not know. So my goal with this show is to just get inside of these issues. What is Sharia law and what does it mean to have a Sharia court in Texas? What does that mean?
So it's fundamental of the Quran and of Islam that they believe that that is the highest power. Okay, that is the governing document, and it is above local laws. I mean, you have had a number of Muslim clerics in Great Britain, even in America, say these things on TV. Like, this is not a secret. Okay.
Yeah.
You have any time that you have these people impose their type of Sharia law or things like this, like, look, Islam and the way it's practiced in a lot of the, Islamic rule, Iran, a lot of the Middle East, women are covered head to toe. They don't have says. There's different rights, values for men and women there. I mean, in some of these countries, it's as extreme as if a woman gets raped, it's her fault.
Yeah.
And even places like England right now, the UK, where we're seeing this, I believe Denmark, and there was a recent in Europe, I can't remember which guy, I believe it was Denmark, where it was a Syrian refugee, but they didn't discipline him or send him back because the rape didn't last long enough. And they're bending the knee to these causes because, they're saying it's cultural differences. Well, like in Sweden, the rapes went up by 2,000 or 3,000% in 20 years. Ironically, at the same rate that the immigration happened from, Syrian refugees. These are undeniable statistics. And like, look, my interpreter from Iraq, Johnny Walker, who's like one of my closest friends, Muslim guy, he warns about the same thing. He's like, I practice Islam. However, there's a huge faction that wants to tear down the American fundamental values and impose Sharia law. These people, the radicals, are out there saying it. And we're like, no. Under the tolerance and understanding, we're going to allow them to do this. And then you have Islamic rule, places like Dearborn, Michigan, where literally they put Islamic lettering on their police patches, where there was the mayor said that somebody wasn't welcome in that town anymore because he was concerned about naming a street that he grew up on an Islamic name that had unindicted co-conspirator ties to 9/11. I mean, this is crazy.
All right, guys, if you like this clip and you want to watch the full episode, click here. And if you want more content like this, you can subscribe to the show by clicking here.